What's going on, everybody? This is Chip Walton. Welcome to Chop and Brew. We're going to do a little pro beer tasting, but we're going to be dropping a homebrew recipe. That is because this is a kind of pro-am recipe beer collaboration with our friend Brooks Edman. If you're a fan of the show or you're in the crew of Chop and Brew, you know Brooks is one of the Chop and Brew Homebrew Club's most winningest member. He and his wife Ellie win a lot of medals under the C&B flag, and a lot of those beers are wild ales or sours. This is no different. So what I'm going to do real quick is just tell you Brooks' inspiration, and then his experience in Nepenthe brewing this one, and then I'm going to tell y'all about the recipe real quick. So the inspiration, he says, is another local brewery was doing a dry hop kettle sours with different wine grape varieties. He had previously done a straight blueberry sour and thought it came out very wine-like once the blueberry was all fermented out, so he decided to give it a try with blueberry juice and Galaxy. It was a hit and has won a few awards over the year. It's very refreshing. It's a great hot weather drink. So he won a competition. As you can see, the can says 50 beers, one winner. 50 brewers battled it out to brew their beer with us. Only one could win, and that was Brooks. The folks in Nepenthe were totally game to try to keep it as true to the original as possible. There are obviously some small things that you have to change because making 310 gallons of beer is way different than 5 gallons of beer. But everything else stayed true to the recipe. He says brewing with them was extra fun because they're also his local homebrew shop in Baltimore. Being a regular, it was cool to see them grow from just a homebrew store to a full restaurant brewery and now packaging brewery. I didn't know until brew day that they were actually going to can a portion of the batch, and I didn't know it was going into distribution until it started showing up at all my favorite local bottle shops. That's a cool surprise. Brooks was kind enough to send me a 4-pack of this beer, and it is, like he said, it is quite refreshing. So he sent me the homebrew scale, the 5-gallon batch. I'm going to post it and link in the video description. 2-row white wheat, flaked oats, flaked barley, rice hulls, because there's the oats and the barley, the flake. Mashed at 156 for 60 minutes, collected the wort, brought it to 190 Fahrenheit for a few minutes just to pasteurize it, knocked it out back down to 95 and pitched lactobacillus. He says of your choosing, he used 32 ounces of Good Belly mango probiotic drink. We used Omega Lacto blend for the Pro Brew. Depending on if you like it, if you keep it hot or let it fall, it should do its thing in about 18 to 48 hours. I like the refreshing tart beer, he says, not really sour, but I do let this one get a little more acidic because the dry hop raises the pH a bit. After it's gotten to whatever acidity level you like, heat up wort, let it boil for 30 minutes or however long you like. Use nutrient, wort flock at 10 minutes. Chill and pitch a clean yeast, US 05, Cali Ale. As fermentation slows, this is where the pink beauty comes in, y'all. Add 64 ounces of blueberry juice and 5 ounces of Galaxy hop. He says we use blueberry puree for the Pro Brew version. I don't remember how much, but probably about a pound per gallon. So he's using that blueberry juice. Once fermentation is complete, carb it up and enjoy. So the Galaxy and the blueberry juice are actually going into kind of like the tail end of terminal fermentation. And what you get, because of that Galaxy, a blueberry sour alone would be interesting enough and very refreshing, but never had a beer quite like this. That the Galaxy, I think, is giving it this big lemon, limeade. This almost seems kind of like an adult, like lime berry popsicle. The tartness is like pretty medium. It's not bracing, but it carries both that berry burst, that kind of juiciness of the berry, and the Galaxy hops. The color, as you can see, is this really cool light purple, dark pink, almost kind of like hibiscus-y color. Right now, the sun's hitting at just a perfect angle that it glows, or you can see it up against this light. Look at that. Ooh, it's pretty, y'all. So this is a crowd pleaser. If you like your fruited sours, I guess you could almost kind of think of it as this, except this isn't quite that like Berliner Weiss with all the mango puree or anything like this. This is just a way more clean, sour, tart ale. Just really enjoyable. And it dries out a lot. Like it dries out bone dry, but it keeps that kind of berry flavor. It's almost kind of like how LaCroix is like bone dry, but that essence of whatever fruit really lingers and takes the reins. That's happening here, but you can tell with like a legit fruit source, almost a little kind of apple cider, um, tart apple cider vinegar kind of vibe going on with the combo of the tartness and the fruitiness. Very, very enjoyable. I shared the other 3 cans with Dono and Brian Adams and Chuck and Paul Illa. So, Brooks, the beer made the round here in the Twin Cities. I'm really glad that you were willing to share not only the pro version of the beer, Nepenthe, also shout out, but Brooks also for sharing, once again, another award-winning recipe. So, yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. I can point you to Brooks. Let me know if you brew it and how it goes for you, if you make any tweaks to it based on your system and process. If you like more videos like this where we taste some beers and tell the backstory, subscribe to Chop and Brew, smash that like button, go to patreon.com/chopandbrew and keep the party rolling. Deuces and juices.